Hi everyone, I filmed a back to school drugstore makeup tutorial for you guys. I'd really hoped to get this video up a lot sooner, but I'm getting it up now, so I hope you guys like it. Like I said, it is drugstore. Everything that I use in the video is drugstore or affordable. Some things I use that you can't necessarily find in the drugstore, but you can get them online or other places, and they're really affordable. So yeah, some of them kind of were new products that I tested out too, so I'll let you know my opinions about those in the video too. I just wanted to create something that was really simple. I tried not to use too much, like I try not to use too many brushes, and like with the eyes, just try to keep it really simple, because that's typically what I do when I do my makeup for school. Is I try not to do something crazy, but I still wanted to create something that would look good and last all day while you're at school, and that way you know that your makeup's gonna last all day and look good, and you'll feel good while you're at school too. So I hope you guys like it. I'm gonna let the video play for you guys. Thumbs it up if you liked the video, and I will see you in my next one. I'm gonna start off by priming our face. I'm gonna use the Nivea Men. This is the Sensitive Post-Shave Balm. This is the only like drugstore kind of primer that I had. I'm sure many of you have heard of this before or have seen people use this. Nikki Tutorials is the one that really started it, and she uses it a lot. So I tried it out and I do really like it. I feel like obviously it does smell like aftershave, but it goes away as you do your makeup, so you won't really smell it throughout the day. After we have our skin primed, we're going to go into foundation. So today I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible. This is the Pro Glow foundation. I have the shades 405, or actually no, 205 and 204. I'm just going to mix these together to get my color, and then I'm going to blend it in with my Real Techniques beauty sponge. This is actually a really nice sponge. I like the consistency of this foundation because it is very like watery and moisturizing, so I feel like this will be really nice to wear like if you're at school all day, because you won't have to worry about your skin looking dry. I do have the Pro Matte one, and I do really like that one, but I just feel like right now, probably at school, I don't want to really be too matte and my skin looking dry. My skin has been a little bit dry lately, so figured this one would work a lot better for me right now. And this one does feel really lightweight too. I really like this foundation so far. And I'm just gonna blend it in with the makeup or the Real Techniques sponge. Next, for concealer, I'm going to use the Superstay, the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Concealer. This is my, I actually just tried this the other day. This one I did just recently buy. I think it is pretty nice. It's like a lightweight concealer. I think this is more like an everyday kind of concealer though, because it is really lightweight, and I don't think it's really like a full coverage one. At least it doesn't feel that way to me. So I'm just going to use this mostly just to conceal certain areas and highlight. I'm going to go ahead and blend that out with the more pointier side of this sponge, the Real Techniques sponge. Just blend that into the under eye area, make sure it's all blended really nicely. I'm going to go ahead and try and highlight a little bit using the yellow corrector, the Pro Concealer from LA Girl Cosmetics. I did really like these concealers. I'm going to be using one of these to contour, so I'm going to use this yellow one to highlight too. I really like to use more yellow tones as like a highlight. So now that we have that, and then I'm going to go ahead and contour, I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Almond, and then I'm just going to contour. I'm going to go in with that Real Techniques sponge, and I'm just going to blend out I like to blend out the highlight first, and then I go in and I blend out that contour. And then I think I'm going to go in with this other side to really blend in that contour, just because it's like more of a flatter side. I feel like that'll blend it in a lot nicer and make it look more natural. To set everything, I'm going to be using the NYX Contour. This is the Highlight and Contour Pro Palette. I'm going to use this banana, like kind of this banana shade here. I'm just going to pick that up with like a small little fluffy brush and dip it into there and just set my under eyes and like all those areas that I highlighted with. I'm gonna try this City Color HD powder to bake. I don't really have like a favorite baking powder from the drugstore that I've tried yet, so I'm gonna try this one. I think I got this one in like an Ipsy glam bag, and I haven't tried it yet, so I figured I'd try it for this video. I don't know if you can get this at a drugstore, but this is like $4. You know, you can get it online. I'm sure you could probably find it in like some drugstores, but not exactly sure. I'm going to use a damp sponge, the same Real Technique sponge, and I'm just going to dip that into there and try and bake on the under eye. Okay, that's actually a lot of powder. Like, this stuff just goes everywhere. Okay, this is looking a little crazy. I think I put a little bit too much, or there's just, I don't know, this stuff goes everywhere. I don't think I can say that I'm a fan of it, but that's what I have right now, so that's what I'm gonna have to work with. I'm gonna use the same contour palette to contour. I'm gonna use this shade right here, and I'm just gonna focus this more towards the, right here on the back of my contour, here on this cheekbone. So I had to dust away that City Color HD powder. Actually, I probably wouldn't recommend that for baking. Didn't really like it. It has a really strong smell, and I just needed to take that off already because I was not really liking that. So for blush, I'm going to be using the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. I love this blush. I believe I got this. I know you can get it at Target, you can get it at Ulta. It's pretty affordable. So I'm going to use this and a blush brush. I really like this pretty peachy color that it is. This is one of their very like popular ones. So I'm just going to dust that lightly onto the cheekbones and blend it out to my contour. Now that we have that nice wash of color, we are going to go on to highlight. For highlight, I'm going to be using the NYX palette that I have. This again is the Go-to palette. It's the LA Indispensible palette, and I'm going to use the highlighter that comes in here, this one here, and put this onto the cheekbones. I feel like that is actually really nice. It's a really pretty good highlight. I think it's a good like natural, very glowy highlight, so that is really pretty. Now we're going to move on to eyes, and for eyes to use as my eyeshadow primer, I'm going to use just the concealer that I have, the Maybelline Better Skin Concealer. Blend it out with my finger. I'm going to blend this up to the brow bone. I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows really quick. I'm going to use, for brows, typically if I was doing, since this is like a back to school video, I would recommend like a brow pencil, like the, I know Loreal has a brow pencil, a new one that's out right now that's pretty good, I've heard. But I just don't have a drugstore brow pencil right now. All I have that is drugstore is this Pixi by Petra. This is a mini brow trio, shades of brow. It just has a couple colors in there, so I'm just going to use this powder just to fill in my eyebrows as much as I can. For the eyes, after we've primed them with that concealer, or if you have like a drugstore primer that you like to use, whatever primer you prefer, I'm going to set that with some powder. I'm going to go ahead and go back into this NYX contour palette, and I'm going to use this one right here, and I'm just going to set the eyelid with this just so that concealer doesn't like run anywhere, and we can blend those shadows out nicely. And then using the same contour palette again, I've used this palette probably throughout the entire time of the video, but I actually do really like this palette. I think it's really good. I'd recommend it to you if you're starting out, or if you really want like a good affordable highlight and contour palette. I think this is a really nice one. I'm gonna go in with this shade here just to use this as like my transition and like crease shade here. So I'm just gonna blend that in with this same fluffy brush. I'm not going to be using too many like crazy different brushes for this video for the eyes. I usually use this one just a lot. This is a MAC 224 brush. I know it's not drugstore, but you could get like a fluffy brush like this, just a really nice fluffy one. I feel like these are really good to just blend out. Like you can use them for the crease, to set your primer and all of that, or to give you a nice overall like full-on wash of color. These are just really nice, and usually when I am like trying to do my makeup for school, if I'm in a hurry or if I'm just trying to be quick with it, I usually just try and use 1 or 2 brushes, because the less brushes the better, the quicker. So we're not going to make this too complicated because it's back to school. You're just going to go for something that's easy, that you can do every day, and something that still looks good and natural. Next, I'm going to go into this other NYX palette here. I'm going to use these shadows from the palette. I'm going to go in with this darker brown shade here. This one it's a little bit matte, but it does have a few specks of like shimmer in it, but you can't really see them, like it doesn't come off that way on the skin. I'm just going to use this in that same brush, and I'm just going to focus this on the outer part of the crease here. For the lid shade, I'm going to go in with this color here. It's a really pretty rosy pink tone shimmer color, so I'm going to use that all over the lid. I'm actually not going to use it all over the lid. I'm going to focus it more just like on the center and towards the inner part. I'm not going to just put like a whole swipe all over. So I'm just going to pack it on here in this inner part and in the center. Every time that I do my makeup for school, I usually do like to do I do something simple. I use a lot of like brown and neutral tones, but I always make sure to add just a little bit of something by using like a shimmery shade like this on the lid, usually like a gold or like a beigey, just something really pretty that'll kind of stand out and make the eyes pop. But to make those eyes pop even a little bit more and just kind of give you that more awake look, I'm going to use this lighter shimmery shade here. I'm going to use that same brush, and I'm just going to put this in the inner tear duct area of the eye. And then for the bottom lash, I'm not going to do anything too crazy. I'm just going to take a little small fluffy brush, take this brown shade, and I'm just going to run this along the lower lash line. I didn't really want to define the bottom of the lash line too much. Like I said, this is exactly like what I would do, is just try and be as quick as possible and not use too many brushes and just keep it simple. So I am going to go ahead and do a little bit of a wing liner. I'm going to be using the NYC Liquid liner in black. I'm just going to use this and create a small little wing. After we've done our wing liner, I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes, and I'm going to apply mascara. I'm going to be using the Loreal Voluminous Original Mascara in black. Once you have your mascara applied, you can leave it like that if you prefer to, if you're not really the type to want to wear false lashes every day or to school or anything. I'm going to though. I'm going to be using the ones I'm using are still pretty natural. I'm going to use the Amor, I think it's Amor US or Amor Us, but I got these on Amazon. They are similar to the Red Cherry lashes. These are just like a different brand, but they're the same ones. This is the WSPF style. These are really nice. They're really natural, so I'm just going to apply these on really quick. I'm going to use my Duo adhesive. This is the brush on one. Okay, and while we let that lash glue dry, I'm going to go ahead and move on to lips. For lips, I'm going to line my lips using a NYX lip liner. This is in the color Natural. I really like this one. This is one of my favorite lip liners. And now after we've lined our lips, I'm going to be using the NYX Lingerie liquid lipstick. This is in the color Babydoll. I got this at Target. I had been wanting to try these out and they didn't have them at my Target for the longest time, and they just like recently got them. I only got one to try out, but I really heard good things about these. I feel like applying it, it is a little bit sheer, like it's not really, I mean it barely feels like anything, but I feel like the color isn't as like pigmented, like you kind of have to keep applying. I'm going to go back in with the lip liner and I'm just going to darken up the outer corners. Just because I don't want it to look too like opaque. So now that that lash glue has dried, I'm going to go in with the NYC Liquid liner again and just cover up that lash band so that you don't see the lash band or you don't see any glue that's showing through. That is it pretty much for the look. Now to make the look last all day, we are going to set it. I'm going to be using this Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day setting spray. This is in the Jasmine scent. This isn't obviously a drugstore, but this is a pretty affordable one out there. I know that NYX has one, like a matte one, and I believe Loreal has one too. I just don't have those, so I'm using what I have. And I'm just going to go ahead and spritz this all over and set the makeup. And just let it dry.